Hi, I'm Sean, and this is our project Budget Air. It's a microservice based airline booking system. In this video, myself and Johannan are going to cover the introduction and the architecture, our roles, a demo, the API flows, and how our asynchronous task system works with multi threading and polling, deployment, and a reflection on the challenges and how we solve them.
Budget Air is built using a microservice architecture. Instead of one large backend, we split the system into separate services with clear responsibilities. Our project includes a front-end website, a task microservice that routes requests and manages task status. Business microservices that we have are user flights and payments, a database for our persistence, storage, and development using Docker Compose. A key design choice is that the front end mainly communicates with task service, and task service then communicates with the other microservice, kind of like a gateway microservice.
So, I'm going to be taking you through a short demo of the front end website. So, we're going to start here with register. So you can see it's kind of already pre-filled my information. So we'll just start with Paul Lennon, P Lennon 16. The password will be I love burgers. P Lennon at atu.com. We'll set the age to a solid 25. It won't let me. Uh, oh yeah, because you have to be over 18 to use this app. And the number we'll just do 089 678 6543. We'll register that account. So we see our users successfully created, and then we could just be redirected here to login. So we go P Lennon 16, and I love burgers. So we're in. We're gonna go over here to flights, and we can see that the available flights are listed here. We could also do a search for flights. So let's just say we're going from Dublin to maybe Chicago. We could search for those flights, but since we don't have any created here, we just have Dublin to LHR. So we're just gonna see these ones. So I can see economy or business. So I want two economy seats. So I'm gonna book now. So it's gonna say flight booked. Go to your bookings to complete the payment. So we can see that we can now pay for our booking here. So Paul Lennon, card number 4319 5678 9076 and 1234. The expiry will be the 11th of the 30th, and we'll keep this like this. So we'll do pay, and we can see that it's paid, and we can see all the information for our flight. So now I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log in as my main account, and Joe is going to walk you through the admin function since we have this account set to an admin.
So as you can see, we have admin up in the nav bar. This is only for if your account is registered for admin. There's two types of accounts you could have. You could have user or you could have admin. We click into admin. As you can see, we can see all the users and we can see admins. If we go over to here, companies, we can see all the companies we have. And if we go over to flights, we'll see the flights that we have. Companies, if I wanted to add a company, just go here. Let's go with, as you can see, BAW. Let's go Nope, I'm not. British Airlines, United Kingdom. Contact could just be BAW at BAW JOHANAN.com, and then phone number. Yeah, I can create the company. Company has been created successfully. Will show up here, as you can see. If we go over to flights, then if we go add flights, these are all the parameters for that flight. If we go flight name, we'll go BAW or Britain to, I don't know, let's say Ireland. Flight number, let's just go with this one that you can see up top. If we go origin, BAW, IRE, let's just go with these. You can set them to any other value. Let's just say business, there is 20, economy, there is 50. If I go select company, as you can see, the new one that we just created is then set there. We go create flights. Flight was created successfully. Shows up here. Britain to Ireland. And if we go over to flights, sorry now, as you can see, Britain to Ireland. And you then, as Sean mentioned, you can then book it. And yeah, that is our admin panel.
I just want to quickly demonstrate that you can also just search for BAW. My main responsibility was building the flight microservice, and I was also in charge of creating the tests along all the microservices to make sure the endpoints were behaving correctly and the integration didn't break when we changed things. So here I'm just in flight. You could, if you remember from the front end, you can see how we have all the flight information here. And if we come back into, where was I? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We can see that the coverage of the tests is over 80%, and that is the same for all of them. We'll come over here into user. You can see that we are generating a random user ID. We're using UID4, which is an external library. We also have password hashing, so the passwords are protected. Coming over here into payment, you can see where all the payment information is taken from. And then coming over into here, I'm going to pass it over to JOHANAN because he knows more about task.
As you can see, if we scroll down, as you can see, our create task creates a new task. If we scroll back up to our task worker, our task worker gets all the tasks from our database and marks it for processing. We do this since we don't want any of our other tasks working to task workers, to start working on the task. The task worker then sends a HTTP request. You can see it is here. It sends it to the corresponding microservice. Then the corresponding microservice will send a response back to the task microservice. While this is executing, we have a browser that is continuously polling to see if the task is done. And when the task is done, we have a response that gets sent back to the front end. If we go over to our, if we go over to our Docker Compose, as you can see, the Docker Compose handles containerizing all of our microservices. And as you can see, each microservice is on a different port.
So unfortunately, we didn't implement any full circuit breaker patterns. A real circuit breaker needs open and half closed states and failure thresholds. We did not meet that. However, as seen earlier, we did add software tests for every microservice, and each test gives us our coverage, which is over the amounts that was specified.
So as you can see on our GitHub, we in the networks we had continuous commits. We also always worked on a branch. As you can see for flights, if we go over to this one, or sorry, this one, that's flights. This is for front end. This is for tasks. This is for users, deployments, and finally payments. If we quickly go over here to our Jira, as you can see, our sprint burn downs aren't the best. This is due to when starting our sprints, we had a certain amount of items, work items. However, going through each when developing the microservices, so on and so forth, we had to add in more items or take away more items. There was continuous planning had to be introduced. There was also issues with work amounts we thought we would get done. They had to be cut out due to complications. I'll pass you now to Sean to finish us off.
Yeah, so I'm just going to bring you through the list. So we structured everything in epics. Once this loads up for us, Wi-Fi is slow for some reason. Um, so we structured everything into epics. So we have all the different microservices here. We have project creation, create deploy, create the front end. And we never assigned it to a person. We always assigned it to a team. We can see the start dates here. We can see that everything is now done. We're at the end of the sprint. And yeah, um, it's a very well structured um, list. You can see all our different our backlog items inside of the epics. Just makes everything easier to see. And yeah. So we did face a lot of issues. Me, especially with the way I have my computer set up. So I run a version of Windows called Tiny 10. It's like a modern version of Windows that has no bloatware in it. This ultimately took away some of the Windows dependencies that Docker and stuff expect to be there. So I had to use a different version or a different way of doing this. So I used a tool called WSL. It's the Windows subsystem for Linux. It basically allowed me to run my whole project within a virtual environment. So the whole issue of Windows not having its dependencies didn't matter anymore. Um, Also, me and Joe both work full time, so making time to work on the project was difficult. So we ultimately decided we won't work on the project until both of us are here. So we usually did it like this, where you can see we're using TeamViewer right now to access each other's computers. Um, so we'd be working on each other's computers. It'd be like if we were almost together in the lab. And I'm gonna pass it over to Joe to see if he has anything else to mention.
Yeah, so just going off of what Sean said, we both work full time. So we said rather than, singling out anyone or putting someone under the water, we'd work on it together. This way we could both share information, we can both work together and have two brains on one topic. We could get it done faster. Also, we had issues with multi-threading and polling. Those were big issues that we've never faced before. Luckily, there's a wide range of users and resources online, such as Geeks for Geeks, Stack Overflow, Reddit. Those are just a few examples of how we had to go in depth into researching how to properly how to properly have multi-threading and polling in our um, project. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Paul and